Oh yeah, now we're talking about this. Young mainstream audience now believe Mario 64 invented 3D games. No, Mario 64 of course did not invent 3D games. There have been games that existed before, like Star Fox. There were games in the Super Nintendo that were 3D, but the whole 3D trend, the whole 3D gaming trend really accelerated when Mario 64 released. Okay, because Mario 64 sold to many people in the 90s, even though I'm not really popular, I'm not really a big fan of the 90s, or too much because I wasn't born that era. But 3D games have always existed, but like actual, like real 3D games, okay? Not, stuff like Maze or, you know, Doom, where it was like, 2D, 3D, like actual full 3D games. You know, it was a full, truly 3D platform. It was a true 4 with integrated camera control, you know, which is why a lot of 3D games are based around Mario 64. Even games like Halo, and of course, and of course, 3D games have. And of course, Dark Souls invented difficult games. Difficult games have existed as long as gaming existed. Okay, I think the whole idea of a game being difficult on purpose, though, was became popular with Dark Souls. Okay, but roguelike games have always existed, which have always been pretty difficult. Okay, and also roguelike games have always existed. Okay, but they have become more popular because of games like Dark Souls. Okay. Oh wait, roguelike is a different type of game. Oops, sorry, but I'm talking about like hard and difficult games. Okay, but okay, well that means like okay, so roguelike games are like dungeon crawlers basically. Okay, so Pokemon Mystery Dungeon is like that, but basically hard games that are basically the whole purpose is to be hard. Okay, Dark Souls is really popularized that whole type of game. Okay, but hard games have always existed, especially in the NES and SNES era. Okay, well, hard games were just how it was. There was games like Battletoads and Super Meat Boy that existed that were pretty difficult. And of course, you had games like the world's hardest game. Yes, there was a little game called World's Hardest Game. Okay, but the whole idea of a game being purposely difficult outside of hard modes in video games was basically popularized with Dark Souls. The Last of Us invented serious games? No, it didn't. Halo was a serious game, not The Last of Us. Also, Fallout was a serious game. Serious M-rated games was not created by The Last of Us. Dark Souls came out before The Last of Us. Halo came out before The Last of Us. Okay, Borderlands came out before The Last of Us. Last of Us came out in 2013. Okay, Borderlands is technically serious, but not serious at the same time. But, and oh yeah, because, and that the PS2 sold well because of its DVD player. Well, that's true. The only reason the PS2 did sell well was because of a DVD player. Okay, you can play games and DVDs. It's a package of one, I remember someone said they bought an Xbox 360 or PS3 because they could play DVDs, they could play Blu-rays. Okay, but yeah, games have always been difficult. There have been, especially from the NES and SNES games. For example, Battletoads, which is still voted as the hardest game because of Turbo Tunnel, which is one of the hardest levels in all of video games. So Dark Souls did not invent difficult games, but I think the invented games, the whole purpose is to be difficult. The whole punishing but rewarding games. Not games like Battletoads where it's just difficult because let's just make it difficult. Okay, on purpose. Okay. But as a game like, for example, a game like Contra or Cheetahman or something like that, those games are like difficult on purpose. Difficult on accident. Or Mario Bros. 2. I think the first game that was like truly like designed to be difficult on purpose was Mario Bros. 2. Okay. Or they made the game difficult on like hard on purpose, which is why they didn't release it in America. But yeah, there are some games that are also pretty hard that came out before Dark Souls. So no, Dark Souls did not create difficult games. Have always been difficult games. Okay. And of course they put etc. So why did did historical physicism explode in popularity lately? You can blame the 90s. Goodbye.